Welcome to Spiritually Raw. We expose and explore controversial truths, myths, and theories surrounding the spirit world. Guests include QAnon experts, investigators, debunkers, and skeptics of the supernatural, unexplained, and flat-out unimaginable. Content discussed on this show is not necessarily the opinion of the cast of Spiritually Raw, and topics quite often are for mature audiences only. This show is not intended to replace any medical, financial, or legal advice and is for entertainment purposes only. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
So as I began to use the products, within a couple of days, something clicked. And to be honest, this is the most difficult thing to put into words. When people say, well, what was it that clicked? And I always tell everyone, I don't know how to explain it because I've never felt this way in my life. It is an unconditional, pure, divine connection of love. You literally shift into bliss. I gave some to my partner of 13 years. He started using it. I started giving it to my two fur babies, Macy and Gracie. Our whole household is on the products now. And I can attest that this is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Even above and beyond me opening up to my abilities as a medium and an intuitive. This is the best thing that has ever happened for me. My body is no longer in a fight or flight state. It is peace and calm. It is healing itself. My body, mind, and spirit feel finally at one. My intuition is heightened, which I didn't even think could happen. My focus, my determination, just the overall feeling of being happy. So if you are new to HempWorks, I suggest that you give it a try. And I promise if you do the work, just finding your own sweet spot, whatever that means, however many drops that means for you and how many times a day or what products your body is craving. Turns out mine was craving all of it. Then just try it. The company has the best return policy ever. You get to try it and there is no risk to you. So give yourself the gift of HempWorks. It has been such a blessing to myself, my family, and everyone that I know. I hope that all of your dreams come true as you ascend to the most beautiful you.
Hello, everybody. How are you? And welcome to Spiritually Raw. We hope you woke to the most miracle morning and are also having the most fortunate day today. And as always, thank you for your energy exchange with us today. Backed by popular demand, we have Brad Johnson, who is the channel for Adronis here. So he's going to be coming back here and bringing Adronis forth so we can ask a lot of your questions that you all have been wanting to find out about. Before we do get there again, kindly hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you are aware when we get great guests on. Also, thank you very, very much, everybody. We've been getting a ton of your videos about your experience with the HempWorks, and that's awesome. We really are just so happy, right, to just see.
Oh my gosh!
Like, I mean, this is amazing what people are going through.
The transformations and the recoveries,
the sleep part of it with the CBD melatonin. You guys are just loving that. So again, for those of you who need that mind, body, spirit reset, don't forget again to visit our friends over at HempWorks. I think that you would be pleasantly surprised what they can do for you.
Don't take our word for it, though.
Yeah,
watch the testimonials. We have a playlist of the testimonials,
yeah.
The video testimonials. So if you're sitting on the fence or you just, you're like, well, I don't know, maybe they're just stretching it a little bit. Don't take our word for it. Go to the testimonials and watch everyone else's success stories. They're pretty incredible.
Yep. So anyway, thanks for that, everybody. So about Brad?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Adronis?
Yeah, well, yes, that too. But thank you, everybody. Also, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the Telegram channel and the group chat. We surely do appreciate it. And with that being said, let's get rocking and rolling. Brad Johnson, he is the personal channel, like Jay said, for the multi-dimensional seventh density consciousness known as Adronis. Brad is the founder of a new meditative instant healing method called the EQ method. He's also the author and creator of the Healing Code cards. And you can always find Brad at newearthteachings.com and thehealingcodes.com. And definitely check out his healing codes. They're really, really cool. They come in like a little packet, like a tarot deck type of card deck. And they're really, really, really cool.
Yeah, and the website's right there, everybody. So we'll keep those on during the show. So Brad, welcome back, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on again.
Yes, of course. It's nice to have you, and thanks for bringing Adronis.
There you go.
These are the healing code cards.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
you made them yourself, right?
Yes, I did. Yep.
That is really neat.
I had
cool.
got a printer for them, but they're ready to go. There's a new special edition I'm going to be working on as well too. So it's going to be the brand new body deck. There'll be more cards. It's going to be in a tin box as well too. So it's going to be a lot more durable.
Very nice.
That's pretty awesome. So I know that a lot of people have known you as you channel Adronis, okay, and to bring forth the information. So I want to I know we've had you on here multiple times, and we got a lot of questions. So if it's okay with you, let's get Adronis out if we can, and let's dive right in and get everybody's questions answered. You good with that?
Dive right into it. Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. So
just take me a minute to bring him through. Once he comes through, he'll give a brief introduction. And any questions you guys have or anyone else has, feel free to share, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here we go. Terra Soul Star Siria Adronis we are here. At this time, we bid you greetings and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction. We say hello to everybody that is tuning in to this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. How may we assist you today?
Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Adronis. Thank you very much. And
Brad has a really nice voice too, by the way.
All right. Well, again, it helps in regards to sharing this channeling information.
Okay, great. So we've got questions, Adronis, for you, and thank you for taking time with us today. So I'm going to get right down the list here. The first one, there's been some confusion out here in our world related to the Galactic Federation and the Galactic Alliance, as in who is good, who is bad.
And also the Galactic of the World.
Yeah. So can you help clear that?
Let us put it in this particular way. The two of you, are you good or bad?
I like to think of us as very good.
Depends on the day.
There's no bad sides to yourself. There's no shadows.
I think everybody's got a shadow.
Well, there you go. You see? So how can you tell what is good and what is bad? Because you have to understand that you are a facet of all expression. Therefore, the idea when you're looking at these groups, because really none of you have really ever met them, and you're assuming that someone must be good and someone must be bad, it doesn't really work that way. You see? Many of you get into the talks about the Galactic Federation or the Galactic Alliance or other councils in that sense. Many of you have not even met them. It becomes hearsay. It becomes gossip in that way. And many of you look at this in regards to two particular possibilities. Either they're in the white of the light or in the black of the shadows. But it does not work that way. The whole idea is that many of them are neutral representatives. They are not playing favoritism in regards to anybody and feeling that they have one agenda over another. They are here mainly in regards to keeping balance. That's their nature. You have to look at them as scales. So when you're looking at the Galactic Confederation of Planets, which is whom we connect with, the whole idea is that they have a neutral state of being. They are not here to play favorites in regards to a particular agenda or agendas. They are here in that sense to work together with the earth, to assist with the earth, and to help balance life. They are not here to, in that sense, come down to earth to have a cup of coffee with you, or to feel that they are playing favorites in regards to your states of agendas. Whereas many humans are very agenda-based. The only agenda relating to the Galactic Confederation of Planets whom we connect with is, again, neutral observation and assisting in any particular way to maintain a balance and to proceed as it needs to. So nothing is ever going over in that way. The idea of the intensities that you're going through on your planet right now is all part of the plan. It's all part of you shifting out of realities that you know you don't prefer. So you must go through this chaos. You must go through those intensities. And that's all part of the plan right now. So the whole idea in regards to these particular confederations that we are in touch with really work together with a state of balance. They do not work together with the idea of good or bad. That is a human concept.
Thank you, Adronis.
Thank you for clarifying that.
You're up.
I have a question. What suggestions can you give for people that want to start channeling? Whether even if they want to start with their spirit guides or if they want to elevate to, like, let's say something higher, whether it be a god or a goddess or
you are a god. You are a goddess. That's the whole idea. You keep seeing yourselves in that sense of thinking that you're this big, when in fact you are the very god that you are seeking. You are the very goddess that you are seeking. The whole idea is that it comes down to inner work. It comes down to inner development. So if you were asked that question, we would say, well, what would you do if you wanted to become a dancer? What would you do if you wanted to become an artist? What would you do if you wanted to become an engineer? You have to get involved with the work. You have to do the work. You have to learn. You have to educate yourself. This is no different. But what you are doing is you're developing yourself from within. You are therefore connecting much more into the innerness of your being rather than focusing so much on the outside, because the outside is just a veil. It's a projection. So when you're working much more with your inner being and you're learning more of yourself because you are clearing away much of the woes that you place upon yourself, you're becoming much more of a clearer channel. Love is the answer to everything. So the more that you're bringing in that love and you're clearing away more of your lack, you're going to become quite a receptive channel. You see, Spirit speaks through each and every one of you all the time. You just don't know it. You do not know that you are God. And that is why you struggle. That is why you fight. You simply see yourself as a mortal form. You see yourself as a mortal instrument. And you are far beyond all of that. You are far beyond the body. You are far beyond the mind. When you see yourself as spirit, when you see yourself as the eternal, you will connect into that knowingness of knowledge that is truly infinite, you see?
Do you, thank you for that, Brad. Adronis, forgive me. Do you, Adronis, are we still in this, or are we in the 7-year tribulation period right now? Because a lot of people have been talking about that.
What do you mean?
7 years of tribulation. Are we in that right now? Are
like from a biblical
turmoil, biblical?
Well, it's not about 7 years.
No.
The whole idea is that this has been happening for decades. This has been happening for centuries. This is not a 7-year plan. This is something in regards to what you are going through pertaining to a particular span. Now, we have talked about the idea of the span of change between 2016 and 2024. But that is just a span. That's not the idea of a tribulation time. It's the idea that you're going through a monumental aspect of change to moving yourself into a very different type of society. But in order for that to happen, you need to see, as it were, the ugliness of the artificial systems that many of you have subscribed to. And that's what you're seeing, because you will become, in that sense, so grotesque by the idea of how this system operates, by how there is manipulation, by how there is fear tactics to control all of you. Many of you will unsubscribe from these particular systems, and you will therefore move into a new direction. So therefore, you are deciding not to participate with any particular types of artificial systems that create that type of misdemeanor relating to control, fear, manipulation, etc. You are getting out of that degree, and you're moving into a new society. Not all of you are going to go there, though, because some of you are still very much attached and addicted to the idea of these artificial systems. And until you're able to say, no, thank you, I don't require this. I have everything that I need, and that is my true being. And now you're moving into something incredible. You're moving into something that is very, very different from the idea of these artificial systems. You are moving much more into harmony. So the whole idea here is that what you're going through right now is not going to last. It is on the way out. It is dying. And this is why you're experiencing the chaos that you are experiencing. This is why you're experiencing the intensities that you're experiencing, because this old system is dying off. And because it's dying off, it is frantic. It will grasp, it will clasp on, it will hold, it will scratch, and it will claw onto you to feel like you are, again, the resource it requires for it to function, because that's how it sees you. You're all its resources. And if it has no more resources, it dies. And that's what's happening. People are awakening to what these old systems represent. So this is what we term as the span of change. So as you move into 2024, this will be the climax to the point of the span of change. And you're going to start moving into the span of renewal, which is 2025 to 2036 and into 2037, which represents building new things, building new systems, starting a new arc relating to the idea of life. So again, this is where you're headed. But we do not share the idea of 7 years of tribulations, because as we stated, what you're dealing with has been in power for centuries.
Okay. Thank you. I want to get clarity. Okay, so about moving into a new society sounds wonderful, and getting away from the AI. My question is, because AI is rapidly growing at such an insane pace every minute of the day,
it is the very AI that has been responsible for these artificial systems we've talked about. So the whole idea is that's why it's being stripped down. The whole idea, again, it's no more different than looking at a virus. When you starve a virus of any essential nutrients, the virus dies, because you have the blood cells that are therefore attacking the virus. And therefore, the virus itself becomes disabled. That's what's happening right now. There's a lot happening behind the scenes that many of you are not aware of, relating in that sense to stripping away all the essential nutrients these viruses require to survive. That's what's taking place at this time.
The other question, we hear a lot of the Earth, or I'm just going to call it, reference the United States, like where it's going to split. And some see it splitting into, like the country itself will be like little separate countries. Is that really a potential to happen?
There are many theories in regards to what's happening. We're not really going to indulge it too much. So because in that sense, many of you just have to wait and see. Really, the whole idea of where you're going is that your United States of America corporation no longer exists.
Well, that's good.
It is no longer there. So what it turns into is really up to all of you. There is the possibility that many states may go independent. There is also the possibility that Canada, United States, Mexico, and South America may become one country.
Wow.
These are, again, all possibilities. Nothing is ever in 100% certainty. Nothing's in cement right now. But these are, again, all possibilities that are brewing. It's all based upon the cooperation, the level of interest, and the level of community that takes place to bring forward these ideas. But yes, what you would know is your United States corporation is gone. It no longer exists. You do not have a president right now.
Who's running it then, Adronis?
United States military.
The United States
They
military.
really are?
They are running it.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, on a legitimate standpoint, you have no president. The idea of your Biden is not a legitimate president. He is a shell in that way. He is what you would term as a puppet. He has actually no power whatsoever. In fact, many of you already noticed that he's being fed and to being shared what to tell. Share these informations. He is basically, in that sense, having people behind the scenes saying, oh, say this and do this and say this and do that, because he has no power. It's those, again, other particular forms of controllers behind the scenes that are basically just utilizing him as a means to an end.
So if we have the military running the government, how long can that really sustain like that, number one?
That has yet to be determined.
And then number two, when will the public, if at all, be disclosed of this information?
It's already being disclosed, but many of you don't accept it because it's not on your mainstream channels.
That was my next question.
Many of you, in that sense, will only accept this when there's an official announcement. But you have to understand that these official channels are controlled by these very controllers that you're looking to surpass.
Right.
It's already been very clear about what is taking place, but many of you don't buy into it because many of you will create theories, and then you'll create theories on top of theories, and then you'll go theories on top of theories on top of theories, and you'll just ultimately start confusing yourselves. And that's what's happening right now. So here's what we suggest. Turn off your news. Turn off your alternative news sources as well, too, and go into yourself, because that's where you discover truth.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the shell or the presidency, that's Biden as we know it. What about Trump? Is he destined to come back?
No,
he's not destined to come back. So
unlikely.
we will not see
unlikely.
him. Okay.
Very unlikely. We're not saying it's impossible, but we are sharing that it's very unlikely altogether. He has already served his time. He has another role to play, and that role play will come forward soon.
Was his agenda fulfilled?
In regards to what he needed to do, of course, because that's what you experienced.
Mm-hmm.
When we saw the media and saw this all play out, was this election stolen from him?
You already know the answer to that.
Mm.
All right.
Duh.
Again, you're buying into the mainstream rebuttals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, there was no fraudulent election. There was none of this, none of that. Well, again, you have already observed that. Are you going to distrust what you've seen with your own eyes? Are you going to distrust what you hear with your own ears? Are you going to distrust what your sensors are telling you? Are you going to distrust what your discernment is telling you? Why do you question that? That's something you have to look into yourselves, rather than being a slave to your media, which many of you are. And so the whole idea is you need to pull back from that, because it's like a vacuum sucking you into this reality that is filled with distortion. Turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Go into yourself. Remind yourself about what your experiences are telling you, what your discernment is telling you, and you will know the truth. It's not that difficult. But many of you allow yourselves to get sucked in. Why? Because you feel somebody else has more authority than you, and you should believe them.
Exactly.
And that, again, is a state of disempowerment.
Mm-hmm.
That is enslavement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Adronis. I appreciate that. I was moving right along on that one. Let's go into back into the world like we see it. So there's a lot of conversations going around and a lot of debate regarding the actual physical structure of the Earth. Is it flat or is it round?
Is it flat or is it round? What do you think?
I think it's flat.
Why?
It's the only thing that makes logical sense. I mean,
so?
Because, pardon me?
How so?
Well, because normally I get easily motion sickness if the world is spinning and spinning and spinning.
If you stepped out of your place right now, found a tower, climbed to the highest tower, would you be able to see Belgium from here?
Probably not.
No. The simple reason is because it's not flat.
Because it's not flat.
It's round.
It is what you would know as a honeycomb Earth.
Very
similar to what you would know as the shape of a soccer ball. So the whole idea is that there's a little bit of a belly.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That makes sense.
Herself. Mm-hmm. Now, the idea of what many of you feel are the flatness in that sense is actually looking at your own position pertaining to the state of gravity, pertaining to land. But actually what they have done is they have actually measured these ideas to where it feels like there is a flat surface and that the idea of the elliptical or the curve is actually happening. But many of them don't want to admit it because basically, with all due respect, much of your flat earth theorists have turned into a cult. And so the whole idea is that there is actually counter evidence disproving the idea of a flat earth, but many are not admitting it. In that sense, they still feel that it is going to be flat. But the whole idea is that if you had a flat planet, there would be nothing in regards to that which should be hidden from you. You would also have, in that sense, the areas of the Earth to which you may actually fall off of. And that's never happened. Have you never traveled all across the world? Have you never traveled from the west to the east? Have you ever fallen off the planet? No.
Not yet.
This, again, is nothing more than mere fantasies that people create within their mind. Many of them, in that sense, are simply ignorant pertaining to the idea about what is actually existing on the earth, that they want to go ahead and create these things. Again, this has been going on for thousands of years. Many thousands of years ago, your people thought that the earth was flat, and they would be sailors. They would sail across the world and saying, we're telling you it's not flat. We never fell off the earth. We went from one area of the earth all the way around to the other. We never fell off the planet. There is no flat earth. So the whole idea in regards to your entire star system, when you look at Jupiter, when you look at Saturn, when you look at Venus, when you look at Mars, when you look at Mercury, you're all seeing spherical objects. So what makes you think that you're so different? You see?
Unless the objects we're looking at are false.
You are seeing it right from the sky. You can go out into your night sky and you can see Venus. And an amateur astronomer can look at its spherical nature. You can go out into your night sky and you can see Jupiter with a telescope. And you can observe it. And you can see its spherical nature. Is it circular? Yes. Is it round? Yes, because you can actually see its orbit. So what makes you think that you're no different? So again, you have to understand that you are a sphere. You're round just as they are. It is a soccer ball, a honeycomb Earth.
A honeycomb Earth. What about the moon?
Earth.
Is the moon all right? Is the moon artificial? We'd like to share a story. While it may sound fictional, it's very real and happening right now in front of our very eyes. It's called The Great Awakening. Our sisters and brothers that come on Spiritually Raw are doing everything to help expand global consciousness, and in many cases putting everything on the line to share their messages about what's happening around the world for the greater good of humanity, while exposing the truth of the deep state and the dark forces behind it all. We are living in the most unbelievable times. Some may even say biblical, scary for many and yet exhilarating for others. Together we are taking part in getting everyone acclimated to the Great Awakening process and the exciting new discoveries that lie ahead. The sad part is many of our amazing guests are being heavily censored, socially shamed, and outright banned on many platforms for exposing the truth and piercing the veil. By becoming a viewer, you bring your powerful energy towards this global movement of other truth seekers. If you're resonating with our show, please let us know by hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing, turn on the notification, and leave some comments. Together, we will turn the universal key to global harmony and create a unified world. And remember, tune in often, tell all your friends, and most importantly, may all your dreams come true. Thanks and God bless Patriots worldwide.